Made in China. 3 words that by now can make anyone laugh. Let's face it, China is infamous for making cheap knockoffs of absolutely everything. And it's not just toys and gadgets either. Search for anything and add Chinese in front of it and you're sure to find some kind of knockoff. It can be pretty funny, but you'd be wrong if you think they only do this to American properties. Case in point, this man up here. This is Stephen Chow, creator of wonderful, awesome and totally bizarre Chinese martial arts comedy films such as God of Cookery, yes, that is how it's supposed to be spelled, and Kung Fu Hustle. His films usually harken back to the wuxia style of heroic Chinese martial arts films and then totally turn them on their heads. His most famous film in and out of China though would be 2001 Shaolin Soccer. Or Kung Fu Soccer in some countries, though Shaolin Soccer just sounds so much better. Where a young man who believes Kung Fu can be used in everyday life wants to increase its popularity by gathering his fellow Shaolin practitioners and use their skills to play soccer. It's batshit crazy, totally awesome and absolutely hilarious. Now obviously we can't have a great success without some piggyback riding, so in 2008 China gave us Kung Fu Dunk. Yep, a Kung Fu basketball movie. There's no way they got this idea from somewhere else and just switched the sport, right? Anyway, the movie centers on a child named Fang Xijie, mostly just called Jie, who was abandoned near a basketball court as a baby. What a coincidence. And taken in by a Kung Fu master at his school. Said Kung Fu master also happens to have extensive knowledge of the life force known as Qi.
天下万物之变动，离不开一个气字。
师父，我听不懂。
世间万物都是由分子构成，乾坤大挪移是用气将万物的分子打散，分解眼前事物，再将分子重组，在短暂的瞬间可以凝成时空停顿，甚至逆转时间。
And this is why you never time travel without the aid of a professional. So, the master dies and Jie grows up at the Kung Fu school into a young man with a strange idea of love.
在我情窦初开的时候呢，有个女孩愿意为我而死。
你要是再缠着我，我就真的死给你看。
在我正值青春期的时候呢，有个女孩愿意等我到下辈子。
想要做我的男朋友，下辈子吧。
在我穷困潦倒的时候呢，有一个女孩愿意跟我共赴黄泉。
要是你再不把钱还给我，我就跟你同归于尽。
Is it just me or does that sound a lot more like the memoirs of a serial killer than the internal monologue of a kung fu hero? One day, Jie then meets an old man named Li who suggests a fun little wager.
如果你能把这个铜板丢到我嘴里，行，我就请你吃饭。当然不是那么近了。没多远，这里就可以了。
厉害吧？
Jesus! This is our hero? He drives girls to suicide and nearly chokes a dude just to win a bet? What the fuck? Lee gets the idea to use Jie's skills to make money, but decides that it's a good idea to do so in the middle of a mob-owned casino. So, predictably, a fight breaks out, resulting in Jie getting expelled from his school and home. But Lee has more good ideas.
我找人算账。
你以为你是李小龙啊？无聊的事别搞了，搞点意思的。
我不会足球啊。
As soccer, but for God's sake! Could you at least pretend you came up with this idea yourself like a proper ripoff?
篮球行不行啊？
So, by turning Jie into a media sub-story about how he plays basketball in the hopes of finding his parents, Lee gets him a spot on a prestigious university basketball team. The team captain's sister, who Jie is instantly smitten with however, tells him that said captain, named Ding Wei, has to approve of him first. Oh, and by the way, Ding Wei is this guy. athletes, what can you do, right? Not limit their substance abuse, clearly. GA manages to make the team, but is put on the bench much to his annoyance. Until the tail end of his very first game when he gets put on the playing field in the last 5 minutes. Alright then, time for GA to show off his stuff and win over the team.
Everybody get up, it's time to slam now.
Oh dear. Nah, he still makes the winning shot and earns respect from his team, but really wants to be able to slam dunk, which Ding refuses to teach him. But when the audience goads him in the next game, GA decides to show off his stuff. Hey, don't expect any more basketball song jokes. Those are the two I know. As the team climbs the ranks, they end up facing up against the Fireball University team, consisting almost entirely of players banned from various other teams. Their owner, Wang Biao, is a mean gangster that resorts to bribing and outright cheating to win. He even goes so far as to buy GA's old martial arts school just to prevent him from asking his teachers to join his team and give him an edge. Need I remind you that we're watching university basketball? I'm pretty sure that this isn't the Chinese state championship. I mean, I'm not exactly too knowledgeable about any kind of sports ball, especially in China, but how the hell is this a big enough deal for a mob boss to give a shit about? Oh well. At least the song they played during the final match is pretty good. In the meantime, GA has received a strange letter, seemingly from his parents, saying that they will be in the audience watching him during this particular match. And even though his teachers relent and eventually do show up to kick a boatload of ass, conditions still aren't very fair. Jesus, what? Okay, I get the bribing and shit, but what?
小子，
你不是在跳吗？你跳啊！
没事吧？
打你7寸静脉。
Don't just arrest him! Stop the fucking game! One of the players was literally just assaulted in front of your eyes! What kind of bullshit is this? What?
安静，安静，安静！某天顶只限于球员，
What?
他是裁判，裁判犯规就要吊销执照。
So, yeah! With that logic, Gangster Asshole argues the game is out of time and our heroes actually lose. But this is the part of the movie where GA conveniently remembers how his adoptive father died, so he uses his magical ice kung fu to rewind time, pass the ball to another player instead of trying to hog all the glory for himself, eventually winning the game because he has learned his lesson about friendship and teamwork. Oh my fucking god!
到现在我才知道，原来篮球最爽的不是灌篮，而是大家的团结。
And kung fu and baseball bats and bribes and ice magic and time travel. And because the makers of this thing have clearly never seen another sports movie, the climax just drags on. The letter from GA's parents turns out to be a fake made by Lee to motivate him, but then GA actually meets his real father, who abandoned him due to poverty but is now a millionaire. But GA still decides to stay with Lee, and they plan to enter GA into the Olympics, and none of this fucking matters because the story is over! Oh my god, this fucking thing! I mean, I don't even mind the idea of a basketball-themed Shaolin soccer, and parts of the movie are actually kind of fun, but man, this thing is a mess! First of all, character quirks like GA's love life and Lee's weird wine tasters have no impact on the story and are clearly just there to pad shit out. And it spends so much time trying to be a rise to fame story with a teamwork moral that it forgets all about its own kung fu concept until the last 20 minutes. And for a movie about teamwork, only 3 players are even named, and GA wins by magically cheating, which still makes him the single special snowflake that wins the match just by existing. What a load!
到现在我才知道，
But don't think we're done. No. China's not the only one who can rip off China. Japan was way earlier to that party because in 2003 they gave us Battlefield Baseball. Okay, guess I'm out then. Never mind that. Anyway, this movie is about a world where baseball is taken quite seriously. This is gonna be a weird one, isn't it? So basically, we have this principal of Sado High School who truly believes that his school's baseball team will be able to win the tournament this year. At least until he realizes his class is going to go up against a particularly infamous school. Namely, Mad Max Zombie High School from the looks of things. I mean, seriously, what the fuck are these guys supposed to be? During a practice round, a nerdy player only named Four Eyes wanders off to retrieve a ball from the delinquent's hangout. Predictably, he's attacked, but is then rescued by the mysterious new transfer student Jubei. Jubei kicks the punk's asses, attracting the attention of some random 40-year-old gang leader named Kojo who hangs around high schools, apparently.
貴様が噂の転校生か。よくもおいどんの子分を可愛がってくれたの。
Your man? What is this gang? The Tammy Wynette troupe?
Stand by your man.
So as it turns out, both of them are practitioners of fighting baseball, which mixes the sport with martial arts, resulting in stuff like this. So naturally, after Jubei kicks Kojo's ass, the principal wants Jubei for his team so they stand a chance against the flat-out murderous Mad Max Zombie High.
頼む。下道高校に勝てるのは君の喧嘩野球しかないんじゃ。これ以上犠牲者が出る前に奴らをやっつけてくれ。
Well, yes, or maybe you could not send high schoolers to fight killer Mad Max zombies because you want a trophy. What's wrong with you? But Jubei refuses, stating that he has promised to never play baseball again. And when Four Eyes asks him why, oh god! And I thought bad lip syncing was only a dubbing thing. Okay, so get this. Jubei was so good at baseball that nobody wanted to hang out with him because he kept winning all the time. So when his dad played some baseball with him to cheer him up, Jubei pitched the ball so hard that it actually killed his father. I swear I'm not making this shit up. But even with this tragic backstory, Four Eyes somehow convinces Jubei to join the team anyway. Okay, so maybe this is just me, but if you are so good at a sport that you literally kill people just by playing it recreationally, not playing seems pretty rational. The day of the game arrives, but Jubei has for some unexplained reason gotten arrested and can't make it, leaving his teammates to deal with the enemy alone. So when he does manage to escape and make it to the stadium, he is met with a truly grisly sight as most of his team has been murdered. Ooh, oh god! The Hellraiser movies have really gone downhill, huh?
しまった。
So yeah, Jubei dies. But instead of the movie showing mercy and ending already, he meets his father's spirit who tells him to go back to life and use his magic pitch to defeat the Mad Max zombie students. But when Jubei does return to life, there is one problem. Four Eyes' mother, who hates baseball, has locked him up in his home, so Jubei has to go rescue him first. You know, I would make a joke about this lady being a ripoff of the landlady from Kung Fu Hustle, but Battlefield Baseball came first. After the fight, Four Eyes' mother reveals why she hates baseball so much. Her other son accidentally killed her husband by playing it and then ran away from home. That's right, Jubei and Four Eyes are brothers. Which apparently neither of them remembered at all, despite having lived together. And despite the flashback looking like it took place a week ago. Congrats, geniuses, you solved the mystery. So, Four Eyes gets his mom's blessing and it's time to prepare for the big rematch. Because apparently this supposed baseball tournament has no other teams whatsoever. In any case, Jubei has his secret technique ready.
そうだこの東宝にあえて名前を付けるとするならばスーパートルネード東宝今わしが命名したスーパートルネード
And this is where the movie gets weirder. Cause who just caught this ball? One of Jubei's teammates, of course. Yes, one of the dead ones.
班長
そうでございます。
お前生きてたんかいしかもまた顔変わってる
確かに死んだでございます。だが一度死んで生まれ変わったんでございます。もちろん顔も変わって当然。
No explanation. No nothing. He's just there to get revenge. And he's not the only one either. When Jubei and the team go to face the Mad Max zombies, they're joined by two of their old teammates who are now cyborgs. And a random cheerleader. And Four Eyes' mom.
これで急にさ制度なり水産
Man, this is the sorriest bunch of Power Rangers I ever saw. So then the battle begins and... Is it me or is there very little actual baseball going on here? It's literally just all the students from each side kicking the shit out of each other. No pitching, no batting, no running, no stealing bases. It's just a free-for-all. Anyway, the weird zombie cowboy team coach takes out his giant bat and battles against Jubei. And as Jubei and the team are getting slaughtered, he brings out his poison bat, ready to give Jubei the finishing blow. But then...
あれ全然痛くねえぞなんだとどういうことだ小僧いつの間に
You know, that is actually a very accurate representation of how I feel watching this movie. You know what? Fuck it, I'm wrapping this up. Jubei gets the antidote for Four Eyes, preaches about teamwork which turns all the Mad Max zombies good including the coach, Jubei wins the game and then somehow magically revives everyone by crying over the fact that they're dead. The end. And believe me, I haven't even scratched the surface of the weirdness of this film. If I had to comment on every strange thing that happens in it, you guys would miss at least 5 baseball matches, I guarantee. Now, as hard as I am on this movie, it's clearly deliberately silly and stupid and just wants to have fun with wild ideas. But while that does have its charm and you can get a fair few good laughs out of it, it ends up being more exhausting than entertaining after a while, and it's just not engaging enough to fill its otherwise short runtime. Still, this is probably the better movie of the two, if only because it's more like its own thing, but both of them completely fail to capture the fun of the martial arts sports idea. It's a shame too, cause I would have loved to see a Shaolin soccer style baseball story, or basketball story, or I don't know, hockey or handball or American football. Seems like there's a lot of material here. I guess my point is, ripoff might actually be a bit too strong of a word for these two. Sure, Kung Fu Dunk does lean a little too heavily on Shaolin soccer, and blatant carbon copies of stuff do exist and shouldn't be applauded, that's entirely true. But all creative types borrow from each other, and I don't think there's anything fundamentally wrong with getting inspired by someone else's idea and trying to make a new but similar piece. And to me, it is this constant cycle of creators inspiring each other that makes the world of media such a wonderful place. Even if not every movie, book, game, or whatever turns out so great. And hey, at least we get these kinds of videos out of it, right? Well, that's it for today, guys. I'm the Nostalgia Critic, and when Board James is bored, bad comics burn. And as always, remember to stay beautiful next time on Game Grumps.
For more ass-kicking top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to Watch Mojo.
Hey there guys, and thanks so much for watching this silly martial arts sports movie video. Hope you had fun, and if you did, please like, comment, share and subscribe. There's plenty more madness where that came from. You can also follow me on social media such as Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr and Twitch, all of which have links in the description. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys next time.